Are you worried your girlfriend wants to leave you? These unfortunate 10 signs will confirm it's likely that's where her head is at. Learn how to make her stay before it's too late. 1. She's no longer vulnerable. Do you know that being vulnerable is what makes you and your partner feel close? You are close enough that you don't hold back on sharing things with one another and put your feelings and vulnerabilities on the table. You are already aware of one another's insecurities, and there's no hiding. For example, she will tell you if she has been triggered by something you've done. She will tell you if she's comparing herself to someone else, and she will tell you that she's feeling doubtful about herself. You listen to all of this and won't flinch. Simply put, she doesn't hold back from telling you things about her inner world as she doesn't fear your judgment. Now, being open with a partner is a sign of a healthy relationship. It's what we should all be striving for. A cornerstone of happy, healthy relationships is that both partners feel comfortable being truly open to sharing thoughts and opinions with one another. This should be your goalpost for communication. You might have had this once with your partner, but feel like this is lacking now. You feel like your partner is suddenly closed off, without any explanation. Asking yourself a few questions will help you get clearer on whether you feel like she has been shutting down, and the role you've played in this. Think about the possible changes in her. Asking yourself, did she used to confide in me and now she's not? When was the last time she told me how she was really feeling? What has changed for her recently? Now, flip it around and think about yourself, the changes within you. By thinking about these questions, you'll be bringing honest inquiry to the situation, and you can start to get more clarity on what to do. 2. Her behavior is suddenly different. Whenever our partners behave slightly differently, it can trigger us. Depending on your attachment style, you might fear for the worst. If you're more anxious, you might fear that your partner is pulling away if their behavior is slightly different. You know your partner best, but you might not know why they're suddenly acting differently. Simply put, there might be numerous reasons for their change in behavior, including stress at work, so don't expect the worst. There are a few things to do in order to figure out what is going on with your partner. Try to listen to your partner, not interrupting them and seeing if she is seeking to express herself. When your partner is talking, don't take things personally and let them speak their mind. If you fail to let them speak, they explain. It may make your partner feel like there is nowhere for her to turn. Next, try and find common ground. Find a way to bring the two of you closer, such as talking about your shared interests and hobbies, and appreciate what she does say when she expresses herself, even if it's not quite what you would have liked to hear. 3. She no longer wants to do the things you used to do. Do you feel like your partner no longer wants to do the things she used to do? Before you jump to thinking that's the case, make a list of the things you actually used to do together. For example, something like go out cycling, cook together, watch films at home and head to the cinema, read books, or meditate together. Make a list of 5 things you used to enjoy doing with your partner, and think back to the last time you did them together. Now, think about how reflecting on them makes you feel. Do you wish you two could spend time doing some of these things again? If the answer is yes, the best thing you can do is to tell her how you feel and to see what her response is. You never know. Maybe she feels like you don't want to do them either. Don't try to be a mind reader and assume you know what she's thinking. Instead, communicating is the best thing you can do. 4. She avoids talking about the future. A good relationship means that your partner and you don't shy away from making future plans. You're not afraid of talking about what you'd like from your future together. For example, you can express that you'd like to live with each other at the end of next year if things continue going well. You also can speak about how you can fit into each other's lives if your work takes your partner to other cities. Basically, you're planning your futures with one another in the frame. You see your lives featuring one another. That's not to say you're not present with your relationship at the moment. You just also have one eye on the future and what you want. Now, if you and your partner aren't talking about the future, and you notice she actually gets uncomfortable when you bring it up, it could be an unfortunate sign that she's thinking about leaving you. She just might not see a future between you two. But here's the thing. Have you communicated what you see for your future together? By expressing your desires to her, you might find she's on the same page as you, and this might make you both feel more settled in the relationship. 5. You feel like she's being more secretive. If your partner never was a particularly secretive person, and things have suddenly changed, I understand why you might fear something serious is up. Perhaps they used to leave their phone lying around, and now it's never out of their sight. For example, maybe they've suddenly started taking it in the bathroom with them so it's never unattended. But don't fall into the trap of assuming they're thinking of leaving you or that they've even seeing someone else straight away. There might be a valid reason for their behavior, which you won't know about unless you ask them. The best thing you can do is to approach the conversation from a non-confrontal place and bring up that you've noticed a change. 6. She wants you to change. It's true, your partner should accept you for the person you are today. While you two should want to grow together and you likely hold visions of what your future selves look like, you should be happy in the moment. This goes for how she feels about you and how you feel about you. On the other hand, if you feel like she's trying to change you, it could be a sign that your relationship isn't heading in a good direction. Unfortunately, it could be a sign she is planning on leaving you. When it comes to trying to figure out whether she's trying to change you or not, there are a few things to consider. Does she comment on the way you dress and say she'd like you to dress differently? Does she ask why you like certain things and suggest alternatives rather than taking an interest? Does she ask why you hang out with certain friends and want you to not see them? You could analyze the signs until you reach the conclusion you're looking for. 7. You two haven't been intimate in a while. Are you craving intimacy with your partner, but noticing she's distant and doesn't want to jump your bones like she used to? Maybe you've tried to instigate it, but she's not been interested. Now, I wouldn't read into it too much if it's just once or twice. Your partner might just not be in the mood. But if it's happening a lot, keep a note of these experiences so you can see the pattern and bring it up to her. Unfortunately, it could be a sign that your partner is thinking of leaving you. If the two of you are not having sex as often as you once did, it could be a sign that he has lost interest or desire to pursue physical contact with you. If this is the case, there are numerous ways you two can resurrect passion in the bedroom. It starts with a willingness and open communication, plus you could involve a relationship counselor to help you talk things through. As you two become closer and more vulnerable with one another again, it will naturally lead to more intimacy. 8. She isn't respecting you. Do you feel like your partner isn't truly respecting you? You might feel this in your gut, like something about their behavior makes you feel disrespected. Disrespect can take many forms. It could be that they often flirt with other men in front of you or they throw painful insults at you when you two argue. It could be anything that makes you feel less than good. Even if you feel like you and your partner are a great match, you need to look closely at whether they're exhibiting these traits. If they are, it could be a sign that they're not the right person for you and that they're planning on leaving you. Remember, you deserve to be treated like equals in a relationship and made to feel empowered. Don't settle for anything less than this. Focus on raising your self-worth. Begin with yourself. Stop searching for external fixes to sort out your life. Deep down, you know this isn't working. And that's because until you look within and unleash your personal power, you'll never find the satisfaction and fulfillment you're searching for. 9. She's gone quiet. If your partner is shutting down, it could be a sign that they're having second thoughts about the relationship. This goes back to what I was saying earlier about vulnerability. It's healthy to have openness with your partner. If you lose that, then it will feel like there's distance between you two, which isn't a nice place to be. It's important to address this, as it will only grow over time. Have you noticed that your partner is quieter than usual and not wanting to chat like she used to? To make sure it's not a sign that she's thinking about leaving you, talk to her about how you're feeling in a calm environment. And remember not to be confrontational. 10. She's blaming you for everything. In a healthy relationship, you both need to take responsibility for yourself and your actions. For example, it's not your partner's fault that you had a bad day or that you didn't get that job. You are responsible for your own happiness and successes. While it's easier to blame things on someone else, like not getting a job because you had a fight with them on the day of the interview, it's not the right way to handle things. So if your partner is suddenly pointing the finger at you whenever anything goes wrong and she's living in victimhood, it could be that she's thinking about leaving you. In her mind, she might see you as the issue. This could be a sign of anxiety if everything else has been going well for both of you since the beginning of your relationship, and suddenly everything turns sour. By now, you know what I'm going to suggest. An honest conversation will help you get to the bottom of this, so you can see where it's coming from and how to resolve it. However, if you really want to find out whether your partner is planning on leaving you, don't leave it up to chance.